Welcome back to the Bluegrass, and it's beautiful but kind of cloudy December morning. I'm out with Bradley, a nice yellow Labrador Retriever, and as I'm working Bradley, we're going to talk about two things. Number one, starting next week, I'm going to be posting content to my new YouTube channel. The name of the channel is The Common Sense Filter, okay? And on that channel, I'm going to answer all the emails that I get that don't really fit into the main theme of our primary channel, okay? So you can ask me questions about business, about the dog industry in general, or about any of the equipment that I use, or what I recommend or don't recommend. You can ask me that on that other channel, and I'll do my best to answer it, okay? But I'm also going to be talking about big picture issues, the kind of stuff that people bicker about incessantly on social media, okay? And we're going to start that conversation today with something I think is often overlooked in those bickering type, argument fests, right? Which is, should we even own dogs, right? I mean, here's Bradley. Bradley is an awesome dog, but Bradley didn't, he didn't set off from North Carolina and walk up here all on his own. He has an owner, and that owner decided to send him up here to me because she thought I would do a good job of managing and influencing this dog, but Bradley didn't really have any say in it. Now listen, I do my best to make sure that Bradley has a good day every day, and I'm helping him realize his full potential and all that jazz, but ultimately nobody asked Bradley if he wanted to come, and I find that strange sometimes, right? So let's just start there. Is it okay to own a dog? And if it's okay to own a dog, okay, what are our responsibilities? What are our obligations? And maybe most importantly, what are the limitations on our ownership, okay? So if you think in terms of ownership implies that the dog is property, okay? Like, is it really anybody's business how you treat your property? Like if I'm in my garage and I'm using a thumb wrench as a hammer, I don't expect for my neighbor to come over and tell me that I'm not supposed to use a wrench as a hammer. I expect to be able to use my use my wrench like I want to. If I have a dog and the dog is property, what business of yours or my neighbor or the government, what business is it of theirs in how I manage my property? Yeah. That's kind of weird, isn't it? And if you start thinking about it like that, sometimes you'll start to, those lines will get blurred and you'll think, well, maybe we shouldn't own dogs. And I'll be honest with you, I've lived with dogs for so long, sometimes I kind of wonder that myself. I wonder if all the manipulation that we do to the genetics, I wonder if all the things we do in terms of managing them, I wonder if that's really the right thing to do. That's going to seem strange to some of you, but let me just tell you a little bit more about my perspective. I've been living with dogs 7 days a week, early in the morning, late in the evening, middle of the night. Okay, I've been fooling with these dogs my whole life. And the longer that I've been in the business, the more that I see dogs and people as the same. So when I see a dog like Bradley, I don't just see a dog. I see one of the kids that I'm coaching at wrestling practice. I mean, all these dogs, they're sentient. They have personalities. They have emotions. They have desires. They have things that they were born to do and maybe don't get the perfect opportunity to do, And so, when I start seeing them like I see my little wrestlers, when I start seeing them like I see my friends, then I start to think, is it really fair for me to tell somebody how they ought to live, where they ought to live, who they ought to interact with, who they should marry, And we do all of those things to dogs. And people get in these crazy, violent arguments online and sometimes in person over how to treat a dog, but they seem to all skip over the thing that's most elemental to the whole conversation, which is, should we even own dogs? And I'm not telling, I don't have an answer for that. Right now, I grew up in a society where we own dogs, and I'm in the business of managing dogs and influencing dogs and trying my best to help the dogs have what I consider the best life possible given the situation that they were born into. But, is that the right thing to do? Am I doing the right thing? Of course, we all like to think we're doing the right thing, but are we? So that's what I would like to start my new channel off with. Just that simple question. Should we own dogs? And if we should own dogs, what are our responsibilities? What are our obligations? And maybe most importantly, what are the limitations that should be imposed on that ownership? Okay? So post your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll take what you give me, and then next week I will start to post an analysis of the comments on my new channel. Okay? I think this new channel is going to be a lot of fun, guys. It's going to offend some of you because I'm not going to cut you any slack. Okay? And we might be talking about a little politics too, so, and maybe even some religion. So if you want to come to my new channel, that's cool. Now if you don't want to hear any of that, just stay on this channel. It's going to stay exactly the same. All we're going to be doing is walking dogs and going on big adventures. Okay? All right, but anyway, post your thoughts in the comment section below. I look forward to hearing what you have to say, and I will see you guys next week. Very good dog, Bradley. Very good.